Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I should be saying that to me as well because I have not made a video in a very long time. For those of you who followed closely, the last time I said this could be my last video. It did end up being my last video for a very long time. I think it's maybe actually been a couple of years now. But these last couple of months of my life have been a whirlwind and of God doing supernatural things. And the last event that took place so blew my mind that I knew I needed to make at least a few more videos. And if God continues to do these things in my life, then there will be many more videos to come because I'm going to continue to share what he's doing and what's going on. So where I want to start is actually a story that I'd been wondering about telling from over a year ago. And so for those of you who didn't know, I became a huntress. I married a hunter, and I kind of got pulled into his lifestyle, and it was perfect timing because I got married August 17th of 2019, just before the pandemic and all these things started going on. And I was a line dance instructor teaching in 4 or 5 different places, and suddenly everything was shut down and I wasn't allowed to teach anywhere. And so it got me thinking about what I really wanted in life. I was newly married and all of this, and anyways, I really fell in love with this hunting thing, which I'd never had been exposed to before. No one in my family, no other men I ever knew did this, so it was very new to me. So anyways, I go with my husband on this hunting trip. If you see this beautiful photo back here, that's me and my husband's wedding day, and he actually made that frame for me. It's absolutely beautiful. But anyways, so I go with him on this hunting trip. We're going deer hunting, okay? And this was a very difficult hunt, very steep terrain. The weather was hot, and we're not having any luck. I don't know how many of you watching have any idea what hunting is like, but you're up before the sun and you're sitting in a spot waiting for the sun to come up so that you can actually see the wildlife. So we're up before the sun, hiking up steep terrain to go find a place to sit and watch. And so we're doing this day after day, and it's just not working in our favor. And I was getting burnt out. And so, which happens to me typically about day 4, worn out, and I say, leave me to sleep this morning, come back for me this afternoon after I've had some rest, I'll be good to go again. So I get to that point, and I'm there alone in the camper, and I'm praying, Lord, this hunt seems impossible. And I am 100% convinced that if we're going to get anything on this hunt, it's because you gave it to us. I said, so if you have a deer that you would want to give us, then guide us to it. Now, a little detail I hadn't shared with you before, but previously in that trip, um, my husband was talking about velvet antlered deer, and which was not the season we were in. You know, the season we were in, they'd long lost their velvet. But I didn't say anything to my husband or out loud at all, but I just thought to myself, like, how cool would it be if we got a velvet antlered deer one day? Like on one of our hunts we go on. You know, that would be super cool. But I knew it wouldn't be that trip because we're not in the right season. Like, it's way late for that. They would have lost their velvet months prior. So, anyways, so my husband comes back and I'm feeling refreshed and ready. And he says, look, there's this other spot I've really been thinking of going to, and I've really wanted to go. You know, like something in my heart tells me that the deer are there, but, you know, I just haven't wanted to drag you guys all the way over and up there because it's really far and it's really steep. And, you know, I'm feeling rested and I'm like, well, I say we do it. Like, let's go. Because now that I'm feeling refreshed, like, now's the time to do it if we're going to do it. Because by this time, we only have, I believe we only had the afternoon and the next day left to hunt. So it was like, you know, it's get or done time if it's going to get done. So we go. And he wasn't kidding. It was steep. I mean, it was vertical like this, that if you needed to stop, you needed a tree behind you, because we had packs on too for food and water. And if you actually get something, you need a way to get it out, right? So we have our packs on, you know, so gravity plus a pack on your back, it's like you're walking literally, like leaning forward. If you need to stop, you need a tree behind you just to hold you up, right? And but we make it up there, and we were glad we did. It was actually fun getting there, and it was a really neat view once we were up there. And so we're sitting, we're glassing, we're watching. Well, I decide I'm bored of this. You know, laid around long enough, whatever. I'm going to go walk around a little bit more to see if maybe I'll be the one to find something. Well, I really hadn't gone that far when I decide to turn around and go back. And after a few minutes, I realize I'm not finding my way back. And somehow I got all turned around, and things that I thought I recognized, like the tree we were all sitting under, there's no one under it, and it's clearly not the tree, and I'm freaking out. Now I start freaking out, and I'm panicking at this point. So as I continue to look for where I thought I was, I hear a gunshot. And now I'm full on panicking. I mean, world spinning around me full speed. And I'm thinking, I don't know who's shooting. I don't know what direction they're shooting at. They clearly have no idea where I am. And I'm thinking, I could get shot, right? So I'm in this full-on panic, earth spinning full speed around me thing, and I just yell out my husband's name as loud as I could. And he says, "What?" And I look over, and he's literally like 15 yards from me. And I go over to him and I'm just like, like, and he says, "Where were you? I just shot my deer." And I'm like, "You did?" I was lost. I couldn't find you. And he's like, "Well, I just shot my deer and you missed it." And I'm like, now I'm coming down from this panic, and now disappointment is setting in. And he's like, "Well, get your stuff and come over here and see it. So he takes me over to this deer. And as soon as I saw it, I dropped to my knees and I just began to weep because I could not believe what I was looking at. This deer had full velvet antlers. Out of season for that. And I just knew with my whole heart. God says in his word, "I will give you the desires of your heart." And he was the only one who even knew I had that desire. And I just sat there on my knees next to this deer, weeping because of the display of God's love on something that's such a small matter in the grand scheme of life. And anyways, I owe it to you guys because just because of that, we absolutely had to get it mounted. And he was a very big, very old deer. He was probably nearing the end of his life. And what they told us about him after we got to go back to camp and the park ranger came by, we asked him, if I sit like this, we can keep looking at him, huh? We asked him why this deer had velvet out of season. And he said that this deer had a specific genetic disorder. So with this disorder, they never lose their velvet. They have their velvet on year round. And he was probably never able to reproduce. So this specific deer had probably never fathered children. Because it has to do with basically like their testosterone hormones. And anyways, that just, the whole wow factor of it, of just like literally, I thought we were going to go home without a deer. So to get a deer, after I asked the Lord, if you have one for us that you would give to us. And then he just put that extra signature on it to say, "I see you, I know who you are, I know your heart, and I'm going to give you the desires of your heart." It's like crazy cool. So that's the first story I wanted to share with you guys. And I have one other coming up. So I'm going to end this one here, and then I'm going to get right back on until the next one. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Don't miss this next one. It's going to blow you away.